Good evening, you're watching Plain Speak on CNN News 18 with me, Poonam Burde. The Assam government has ordered public madrasas in the state to share full details about their institutions. The number of teachers, students, the locations of the teachers, where they come from, their salaries and the land on which they operate. All of this will be uploaded on the government portal. Now, the government has also mandated police verification for all the teachers that are willing to teach or are already teaching in these madrasas, all of which are privately owned. Now, there are over 1,000 privately run madrasas in the state of Assam that report to 5 separate boards. All of them will now have to furnish these details to the state government, upload them on the government website for everyone to see by the 1st of December, which is less than a month away. Now, remember, the Assam government has been cracking down on madrasas. It started with state-run madrasas sometime after the Himanta Biswa Sarma government came into power. The state-run madrasas ceased to exist because the state refused to fund schools for religious teachings. That decision was also upheld by the highest court of this country. Add to that the demolitions of at least 3 madrasas that were held by the state government in the month of August, all of which because of their alleged links to terror. Now, this latest move coming in. This is not seen merely as a clampdown though, because there is a conspiracy is what many are alleging. Religious institutions cannot be meddled with, is their argument. But does that argument hold water, especially when terror linkages, like in the case of Assam, are under the scanner? Now, before we open this up for debate and I ask those questions to my panelists, let me break down for you the reasons of why this audit is happening in the state of Assam. The number one reason for this audit or for this monitoring of privately run madrasas is that many of these madrasas, teachers of which have alleged terror links, were arrested in the last 1 year itself. Reason number 2 of why the government is doing this is because there's lens on these madrasas and link with fundamental organizations and fundamentalists. Another big reason of why the state government is doing this is there were at least 3 madrasas that were found to be jihadi hubs, which were demolished by the state government, and one was demolished by locals in one of the regions of Assam. Reason number 4 is that there are several foreign nationals that enter India via these madrasas where they teach. That's something that the government wants to crack down on, or at least have a monitoring policy for. And reason number 5 of why the Assam government is doing this is because they believe that there are jihadi acts that actually take place under the garb of these religious lessons. That is why the government wants a monitoring policy in place. This move, of course, has split opinions down the middle. There are people who say that this crackdown is necessary because many of them promote radicalization and anti-national activity in the name of religious teachings. The counter-argument to that is that these are philosophies of several Deobandis and others that are being twisted. Many are also seeing this move as a bid to improve and legalize funding, while clergymen say that this is nothing more than interference in the community's religious matters, religion which their personal law allows to not be meddled with under the Indian Constitution. Now, the government says that outdated syllabus and skilling being given at these madrasas needs to be changed. They are unsuited to modern needs. But there are those who say that they do not want any assistance. They are fine where they are, and that's really what they need because many of them are at par with the state-run schools. Lack of transparency is also something that has been raised. Lack of transparency, especially in private run, madrasas, is being seen as the rationale behind the government's move here in Assam and in many other states as well. But those who are against this move say that madrasas can't be treated like non-religious bodies. They are religious bodies and they should be treated as that. And religion is not a state subject. The state cannot meddle with it. Which is why the big question that we're asking here on Plain Speak is that this audit of private madrasas is happening in Assam. Is it crackdown or is it a conspiracy?
No question of allowing any kind of jihadi sort of a propaganda or education in the madrasas.
सरकार से हमारी अपील है, आप ज्यादती ना करें, चूँकि हर मजहब रिलीजन के लोगों को अपना रिलीजन पढ़ाने का और प्रैक्टिस करने का इंडिया के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने आज़ादी दे रखा है। सरकार की नीयत भी साफ होनी चाहिए।
Masood Kazmi, a Muslim scholar, joins me on this broadcast. Former Chancellor of the AMU, Firoz Bakht Ahmed, also with me. Law and political analyst Deshratan Nigam joins us. Political strategist George Kurian and Anup George Chaudhary, former advocate and a senior lawyer of the Supreme Court, also with me on the broadcast. And I'd like to begin with Maulana Saab. Do you have a problem with this kind of auditing?
Hello. Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Maulana Saab, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Democratically elected government can have any kind of investigation or inquiry in any educational institution, including madrasa, including all the educational institutions. Nobody can object to that. But the point is only on the basis of one or isolated case, we should not blame entire community. We should not blame entire madrasa of the countries, because these are the madrasa which took part in the freedom struggle. The madrasa which fought for the country's freedom. So we must not blame madrasa. We must not propagate against the madrasa. We must not propagate against any single community.
I don't think that is the attempt, sir. I don't think that is the case. Why do you say that it's an isolated incident? Why do you say that there seems to be an attempt to target one particular community and target only madrasas? Why do you say that?
Because the mainstream media is today saying that the madrasas are doing anti-national activities. They are pursuing anti-national activities.
It's not us saying that, sir. In Assam, there have been madrasa teachers that have been arrested. The state government there, the police there is saying that there are Bangladeshi nationals especially who are linked with proscribed or terror organizations from Bangladesh like the Ansarul Bangla, and they are under the garb of teaching at madrasas, entering into India and then imparting this kind of propaganda to children there. So they have arrested these people. They are making these allegations. The media has nothing to do with this.
Are you suggesting that merely on the case of Ajmer Bilas case, a 2 point and two people of the RSS, two pracharak of the RSS were convicted in the bomb blast? So entire community you can blame that.
But who is blaming the entire community, sir? That's exactly what I'm trying to ask you.
So this is the point. My point is that we must not blame. We must not brush the entire community. We must not brush one community with the one brush, because yes, there are black sheep in all the community, including Muslim, including Hindu, including other countries. So we should take care of the people.
And that's the whole point of this monitoring of this audit, isn't it? The point is to find that black sheep. Nobody is saying that all madrasas are wrong. Nobody is saying that all madrasas are imparting extremist teachings to their children, or nobody is saying that all of them should be shut down. All they're saying is there should be monitoring because there are certain cases. And Deshratan Nigam, that's really the point that we're trying to make here. It is just an audit at the moment. It's just monitoring. The government of Assam just wants certain details to ensure that instances like we saw in the past at certain other madrasas where arrests have been made of those allegedly linked with terror organization do not repeat in the state.
Yes, Poonam, in fact, I'll give you a classic example. Suppose a crime happens in a particular locality or a murder happens in a particular locality. The police starts investigating and talking to a lot of people. They start and do a lot of inquiry. That does not mean the entire locality is a culprit. They try to find out who the real culprits are. So exactly the same kind of social and financial audit which is being done out here is on account of the fact that a lot of madrasas were found indulging in terrorist activities, gun training, bomb making. These are all intelligent reports. And one of the cases has been given to NIA as well. And 47 people were arrested. Certain imams were also arrested having link with Al-Qaeda and also Ansarul Bangla. So you therefore have to be very careful as to nip them in the bud. And therefore the entire scrutiny process has started. Now, I think let me also inform your viewers that the four major organizations which were also part of the meeting in which this order was passed and instructions were given are the major stakeholders who run almost all the madrasas. And let me name them also. One is Tanzim Madaris Kakmiya, All Assam Talimi Taraki Board, Madrasa Education Board Al Hajiz, and Adara Madaris Islamia. And in their presence and concurrence, this order was passed. So the people sitting outside of Assam probably do not know that all stakeholders took part in the meeting, and hence an order has been passed, taking everybody's confidence. Now, we know that Assam is having problems. We know there is an infiltration from Bangladeshi Muslims, which are trying to change the demography of the area and also radicalize population and to establish Sharia. They have professed very clearly and to launch a jihad against India. And those people have been caught, they have confessed also, and the cases are also going on. That seriousness, I think everybody has to realize, and the Muslim clerics or scholars who are there on a panel have to clearly condemn such acts. This is a transparent inquiry, this is a transparent audit, and everything will come out. All information of funds, source of funds, what expenditure takes place, the teachers coming from outside, their details have to be given, where they are located, the requirement, whether the 3-kilometer distance has been followed in establishing a madrasa, because there cannot be two madrasas within a 3-kilometer range. So all locations also, etc. have to be given. So law already exists, but it was being violated. So therefore, this kind of forensic audit is absolutely necessary to find out the black sheep, as you rightly pointed out, and also a law and order issue. Land grabbing is also an issue by some madrasas.
Absolutely. Encroachment is a very, very big issue, and not just in Assam, in other states, in Uttarakhand and in Uttar Pradesh as well, where such audits are taking place. And George Kurian, that's why I want to bring you in and ask you, why make this about that this is majoritarianism, you're targeting one particular community in this country. That's the kind of political narrative that we are hearing, be it from the AIMIM or be it from the AIUDF also as well. Who do you think really is trying to give that sort of color to this entire process? Because all it is a process at the moment.
Well, Poonam, not really. Let me make it clear for your viewers that madrasas are seminaries for Islamic learning, and the minimum that one learns is the ability to pray, and max is the ability to by heart Quran and with interpretation. It may take from a few months to a few years depending upon the ability of a person. Having said that, let me also say the madrasas claim innocence as always in the case. So there shouldn't be any problem in giving information, or for that matter, following the instructions of the government with all the notifications that they have come out with, because this will, in a case, it will free them of vindication.
Absolutely, and that's really what it is about, Maulana Kasmi, isn't it? Because, like you said, there are black sheep everywhere. So why not weed them out? That's exactly what this process aims to do. Because especially in the case of Assam, since April this year, at least 40 people have been arrested in minority-dominated areas of lower and central Assam, all of whom have alleged links with terror organizations from across the border, especially in Bangladesh. Many of those 40 people arrested, at least 10 if I'm not mistaken, are teachers or are head muftis of these madrasas. So there is some kind of pattern, and all that the government is trying to do is weed them out. You should be welcoming that, shouldn't you?
Shivani ji, for the very first time, I very clearly mentioned nobody could object for inquiry because the safety and security of the country should be paramount for every true Indian citizen. This is the point. But the point is that in my mosque, for more than 20 years, people from CID, from IB keep coming, and I always keep advise them, you people should come in kurta pajama, in sherwani, and should take part in namaz, and it should not be noticed, even me. I should not notice your presence here, and you yourself can observe what is happening in this masjid, what is happening in these madrasas. So nobody would object. Nobody is objecting. Anybody, any element is indulging in anti-national activities. Law of the land should take its own cost against such elements. Be any community, be Muslim, be Hindu. बस पॉइंट ये है कि like the previously by Desh Nathanisan by saying he is blaming entire communities, madrasas, entire communities, schools, entire communities, people that they are indulging. But such type of the elements are in all the community. We should not divide the community on the name
and
of
I don't
the
think
religion.
there is an attempt to do that, Deshrathan Nigam, because Maulana Sahab named you. I would like to give you an opportunity to rebut that. I don't think there is an attempt to paint everyone with the same brush or even generalize this matter.
No, Poonam, in fact, I'm very clear. I'm very clear as to the culprits have to be caught. And how they can be caught is by thorough investigation, audit and inquiry. Not all, many will be innocent, they will not be even touched upon. But those who are culprits, those who are indulging in, inciting religious discord or anti-national activities have to be punished, have to be caught, and those madrasas have to be closed. So I've not tried to paint them. In fact, I think it's a misunderstanding of Mr. Kazmi that he misunderstood the entire process of investigation and inquiry. Now, let me also bring in one fact. Madrasas may teach Quran, but they cannot teach anything derogatory against Hindus, anything derogatory against Kafirs, or derogatory or put down another religion. Whether it is written in Quran or Hadith, it is immaterial because we are a pluralistic society, and the rights that the minorities have got is to profess and propagate their own religion, but not to look down upon any other religion. Whether it is written in the scriptures or not, that aspect also has to be seen. Otherwise, it causes, religious disharmony, incites people, and may lead to law and order issues. So everything is in a nutshell, and it has to be inquired what kind of teaching is being given. And therefore, the government has tried to bring in scientific temper, right, so that people understand that the earth is round. People also understand the moon only reflects
Absolutely.
light.
We need to move with the changing times, and that's really the attempt that is being made as far as modernization of madrasa is concerned, and not just in Assam, in other parts of the country as well. And Maulana Sahab, I'll come back to you, but I'd like to get in my other guests as well. And Anup Chaudhary, you are a lawyer, so put this in legal perspective, because many a times the argument that's given in such cases is that personal laws are above everything else. The state cannot mandate them. The constitution gives us right to these personal laws, and you cannot interfere in religious matters. And by doing this monitoring or by auditing these madrasas, that's exactly what you're trying to do. Now, does that argument actually hold water?
As far as law is concerned, the basic feature of our law and our constitution is that there should not be any arbitrariness, because then it offends Article 14 of the Constitution of India. Everybody has to be treated equally. More so, unequally placed people should not be treated equally. Even that is wrong. Now, the impression that we get, whether it is true or not, I can't say that. Impression we get is that these institutions, which are called madrasas, are run by the Muslim community, they are all being painted with the same brush. Now, that is a perception which is gathering force, which it should not. In fact, the government should out of the way go and say, no, we are not, by ordering this audit, we don't mean to target any, although there are statements of the minorities minister and the, it seems that people are not, the persons concerned are not prepared to believe. And it is a fast gathering, this impression that these madrasas are being targeted because of a particular community is being targeted. And as they say, that you have to sift between the grain and the chaff. उसको हिंदी में कहते हैं गेहूं में घुन नहीं पिसना चाहिए. That is the unfortunate part, because either if the audit had been ordered regarding all educational institutions, because there are several unauthorized educational institutions running everywhere. All communities are running there. Sometimes they don't take permission from the government. They continue to run illegal institutions. So it would have been, if audit had been there for all educational institutions, it would have been much better. And then we would have had that the government is not wanting to target a particular community. Even now, I don't say that. It's just possible that they are not. But unfortunately, what is the public perception? The public perception is gathering that, listen, terror material, or rather, is distributed in these madrasas. People are being brainwashed, and in these teachings which go on in the madrasas, the students are being brainwashed. So this is what is wrong. Because,
so you're saying this is more about perception, really, and I'd like to get in Firoz Bakht Ahmed as well.
Involved in it, but because of that, you demolish the entire madrasas. So all other people said this person was.
So it's also the kind of narrative that is being set. And Firoz Bakht Ahmed, I'd like to get you in on that. Do you think it is about a narrative that is being set, especially because of the kind of government that we have here in Assam or at the centre? Because that's what many feel. It is a debate of majoritarianism that comes around ever so often.
No, listen.
Thank you very much, Poonamji, for having given me this opportunity while the program is about to end. Well, now listen to me. I have heard all my learned scholars in this panel, and absolutely there is nothing on the part of the government which is fishy or which is against these madrasas. You know, the madrasas, if there is something, which is against the safety and security of the nation in some madrasas, as you in the beginning said that some of these madrasas were connected with Ansarul Bangla, right? Maybe there were some others that were also, some people were found connected with the ISI, right? So no country can take that risk. Now, coming back to your question, let me tell you that most of the madrasas in our country and also in Assam, they are all, they are all under scanner, and there I can vouch nothing anti-India or anti-Hindu is taught, right? And, government is right. The government should scan the courses of these madrasas because in some universities, there was a charge that Maulana Maududi's books are being taught, which were against, many of the teachings in Maulana Maududi's books, they were against Hinduism. And, so far as the word kafir is concerned, we don't use this word kafir, and in no madrasa this word kafir is taught. And if any madrasa teaches it, then it is anti-Islam, because Islam believes in peace. It is a religion of peace. Most of the Muslims of India believe in Hubbul Watni Nisful Iman. That is, half of our faith is from, is actually favoring our nation, being a patriot, being a nationalist. And even, Allama Iqbal, the poet who went to Pakistan, even he quoted Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who said, "Thandi hawaएं आती हैं हिंद की जानिब से." That is, from India we get refreshing, draughts of air. So, having said all this, any madrasa where there is a problem, the government has the right to question. And so far as Maulana Qasmi has very rightly mentioned, that there should not be any question mark on the survey. Survey has to be conducted, because these madrasas, they are taking a huge grant. NCPCR says that 10,000 crores of rupees is there for the grant of these madrasas. Where does this grant go? Are these children fed well? Are they having properly ventilated rooms? Do they have proper food? The problem with the management of madrasas is that they are living in huge havelis, 500-yard havelis, whereas the madrasa which they manage is just in 100-yard, either it is tented, there is no pakka roof. So that's why this survey is being conducted, and also to modernize them, and not only to teach them the Holy Quran and the other things, Urdu, Persian, Arabic, also to teach them science, mathematics, geography, so that the dream of Prime Minister, the dream India of Prime Minister, where he says, I want to see in each and every Muslim's one hand a computer, in the other hand a Quran. That actually is, it finds reality. That is the thing. So nothing against madrasas, please. Let it be clear.
Right. And it's interesting that you say that the Prime Minister has said about Quran in one hand and the laptop in the other. And Maulana Qasmi, just a few days ago, we had a cleric from the Deoband Madrasa, the Deoband institution, actually come out and say that that's not what we want. Because you can't have a laptop in one hand and then study the teachings of Quran. Why not? What is the problem against modernization of madrasas? It's to bring in line the education system. It's to streamline the education system of the country so that children who are studying in these madrasas do stand a chance as per their peers who study in schools that are run as per the CBSE curriculum or the ICSE curriculum.
Shivani ji, for more than 2014, I have been advocating for modernization of the madrasas. And the narrative started in UP when Yogi ji took at the helm of the power and the state, and he declared that the madrasa will be modernized. I said, I offered in my district Rampur, I will be offering more than 1 dozen madrasas to the government to appoint their mathematics teachers, science teachers, geography teachers, computer teachers. But the point is, even the governments are doing nothing except lip service. People, especially Muslim communities, are vying for modern education. The madrasa is compulsion for them. They have their economical condition is very weak. They have no means to send their students to a school, but when it comes to madrasa provide them food, accommodation, clothing, and everything free. That is why they send their children to madrasa. So, the need of the hour is that government of the day should establish a school in Muslim populated area in the country. It was suggested by such a committee, but the government is doing little for that. I am with government to modernization of the madrasas,
right,
because my community children also have right to bring this country upward, to do something for this country as well. But
right, so everybody seems to then be on the side of there having to be an audit because that's the need of the hour. Then why exactly do we see these kind of comments come to the fore from political parties, George Kurian, be it Asudin Owaisi or the AIMIM or the AIUDF, where you say that, just by this audit or just by demolishing madrasa that had alleged links with terror organizations, you are painting the entire community as one. Do you then think that this is just about politics and them pandering to their vote bank and nothing else?
Shivani, instead of demolishing the madrasa, the government of the day could use this.
Maulana Kasmi, I'll come back to you. That question was for George Kurian. Kasmi ji, I'll come back to you.
Well, Poonam, I fully agree with you. It's nothing but political vendetta, and I still strongly believe that all forums associated with madrasas and all political parties should unequivocally come out in support of the stand that Assam government has taken, which is a very positive move, and everyone should be optimistic about it, including Mr. Maulana, who is on the debate. They should welcome this move because in most cases we have seen it's nothing but red herring, where the cases are found to be false and information, and ultimately they are freed of innocence. So having said that, so it's a good initiative by the Assam government looking at the state's demography and things like that, the security pattern and all these things. Considering all these things, I believe that this is a good move by the Assam government, and there should not be any problem by the madrasas to furnish all the required documents as per the notification that the state government is coming out with.
Right, so there should not be any objections. The stakeholders were also consulted as far as this particular exercise goes, as in most other cases as well. But we saw the kind of hangama that happened over this entire audit or monitoring Firoz Bakht Ahmed in other states as well. Uttar Pradesh was conducting an audit. They unrecognized many of these madrasas. Uttarakhand also decided to do the same thing. Karnataka is also speaking of an audit, and a lot of it is because many of these madrasas are on either private land or on encroached upon land. Isn't it important for the government to have an audit of that as well?
Absolutely. Poonamji, you see, all the Islamic countries, even those countries do timely surveys to find out all these things about the land, whether it is encroached upon or not, whether the facilities are properly given or not. So if any madrasa is on any madrasa, for that matter of fact, any pathshala, anything, any mosque, any temple, any church, any gurdwara, if such a kind of a religious structure is on an encroached land, obviously the government will take action, right? Whatever the legal action is there, right? And recently, I appreciate the steps taken by Himanta Biswa Sarma, who is the Chief Minister of Assam. He said that we are not against the teaching of Quran. Let these students teach the Holy Quran, all the Urdu or maybe Arabic or Persian. But at the same time, they should become professors, they should become IAS officers, they should become pilots, doctors, engineers.
Right.
This is what he said.
Right.
So, but this has to be done on a land which is legal. And if there is any problem, they can, in fact, convey their views to the government. The government is always there with a helping hand for such institutions. So, to say that, yes, no, the government is against us, this is the BJP government, RSS government, some people bring in that element. Let me tell you, I say one thing, last 10 seconds, Poonamji, I always tell Muslims that मुसलमानों के लिए हिंदुस्तान से बेहतर मुल्क और हिंदू से अच्छा दोस्त नहीं है. And I keep telling my Hindu brethren that all the Muslims, most of the Muslims, I think 99% of Muslims, they are nationalists,
Right.
they are Sanskarwadi, they are patriotic.
Right.
This is what we are.
And there's absolutely no question
under
around
this
that.
governance,
That is not the argument that is being made at all. It is an audit. It's a due process of law, and it should be treated as that. And let's not get into the politics of it, of trying to paint one particular community because there is rising majoritarianism in the country. That's a narrative that should not be given to these kind of audits or to this kind of monitoring, especially in the state of Assam, because there are many terror linkages that also come to the fore, and the national security aspect is something that cannot be ignored, and that is exactly what the state government is looking to address. I thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us here on this broadcast.